My goodness. So what are the causes of pimples? I know when I was growing up, it was like, hey, don't eat those greasy fries, you'll get pimples. Any truth to that?
Yes, so we'll talk definitely about the dietary causes. We'll get to that in just a second,
Okay.
but certainly some medications. So medications like lithium, corticosteroids, so anything that's suppressing the immune system a little bit can definitely have an impact on developing acne. Some of the androgens, so testosterone is the big one, and that's when, because of the hormonal changes in puberty, it's because of testosterone most times, and dihydrotestosterone. So as men are aging and they have sometimes, more of the DHT, which is the less favorable testosterone, this can increase the pore size and it can increase that oil production, which of course lends itself to more of the acne. Stress. We know that stress causes so many things, and we have, a couple of episodes that we did here on the Dr. Janine Show all about stress, so definitely there's a link to the cause for acne as well. And lack of sleep can cause acne. So getting a restful night's sleep is really helpful for acne and anybody who suffers with acne. So we'll be having some tips on that. And on a future episode, we're going to talk all about sleep.
Good.
And some natural tips for helping with sleep. And hygiene. So definitely the bacteria that was formerly known as Propionibacterium acnes, big long word, they've now changed it to Cutibacterium acnes. And this is the most commonly found bacteria that is related to acne breakouts. But there's also another bacterium called Staphylococcus epidermis, which is related to the acne, and fungal forms as well. So Malassezia, fungus is something that the researchers were looking at as well, and that the relationship with acne. So it's not usually just one thing. I think when we'll get to talking about the microbiome and having that healthy microbiome, when we talked about having that healthy skin, that healthy microbiome, it always ends up being a topic in one of our shows because
Absolutely.
It's so important that we find that balance.
It seems like so many, if not almost everything, is related to the microbiome.
Yes, and we know that we have a microbiome in our gut, so that's important, and researchers, which we'll get to in just a second, the researchers have found that relationship with the microbiome in the gut, as well as we have a skin microbiome, and the microbiome actually changes depending on where we are in the skin.
Wow.
So I was reading some research which is really interesting. So in the areas of our body where we sweat more, there's different bacteria. And so the microbiome is very different, let's say under the arms versus on here or on an area here, it would be a different microbiome on the skin because of the amount of sweating and very interesting. I think it's fascinating, but to know that we can have positive effects on our microbiome, we know this, right? And those are some of the tips that we'll share today in the show on how to do this. And certainly the dietary causes of acne. So what's really interesting, so as much as, a lot of people will say, and even practitioners will say, oh no, the diet is not related. And I get a lot of flack for this because I always talk about healthy diet, eating your fruits and veggies. And they say that, no, the diet has nothing to do with acne. Well, that's, in my opinion, not true. And research has now shown that specifically high glycemic index foods. So remember that episode we did all about sugar and sugar addiction?
Sure, yeah.
Yes, so this is important and it keeps coming up. That high glycemic index foods, so that's the sodas, the pops, the refined sugar, anything that has refined sugar, the non-foods as I call them. They're not healthy, they're not good for you, they're not really foods, they're pleasurable, yes, but sugar is very addictive. So for anybody, watching who loves their sweets, take a look at our other episode on sugar addiction. There may be a reason that you're addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
Even if you're not addicted, if you have too many refined sugars in the diet, this could be a big problem. It could be causing a big part of your acne. So that's really important. And of course, another cause would be toxicity. So toxicity can cause acne. And I'm all about detox. We all often refer to Lucy and, clearing up those toxins, which we'll talk about in this show, but getting the toxins out of those internal organs and doing that full body detox is really important for acne as well. There's also some nutrient deficiencies that are related to acne. So zinc being one. And I actually have a study that's related to zinc deficiency and the correlation between the severity and the type of acne lesions with the serum zinc levels in patients with acne vulgaris. So that's important. Selenium is another one. It's an important antioxidant. So Brazil nuts are high in selenium. You need to have 2 to 3 Brazil nuts a day. Great way to get a natural source of selenium. And vitamin C. So vitamin C has been linked as well as an important antioxidant. We know helps with our collagen levels for our skin, but really is integral to help with decreasing that inflammatory response, but helpful for the acne as well, so for the skin. And another cause of acne would be lack of sunlight. So we're going to get to this a little bit later in the show, so stay tuned, for that, but that's important as well. So my tip, in terms of all of that would be certainly to look at increasing the zinc in your diet. And so if you're going to supplement, my favorite type of supplement would be a zinc bisglycinate because it's highly absorbed and it's bound to glycine, which is great for collagen, great for the skin as well, specifically. And of course, increasing the vitamin C foods in your diet.
Just a reminder, you are watching the Dr. Janine Show, a naturopathic doctor offering you answers, natural answers to your questions and questions we all have about different ailments or different conditions or different stages in life that we're wondering about, certainly. Every Monday night at 7 o'clock here on Facebook Live and also on YouTube, where Dr. Janine herself said you can look up previous episodes and learn a thing or two. Like and subscribe if you haven't already along the bottom there, and click that bell so you get future notifications of the next shows coming your way. And by all means, share the video. Empower your family and friends with this information, as well as be entertained, as I am listening to Dr. Janine talk about it in real, understandable terms. Elsewhere, when she's on television, she's only able to really speak in sound bites. But here on her show, the Dr. Janine Show, she can expand upon it, really get deep into the issues. Follow her on TikTok, on Facebook, and also on Instagram. You'll see some amazing recipes from previous episodes there, for example, at Dr. Janine on all those platforms, DoctorJanine.